I mentioned before you should do W600. You should have already done this. You should do it as soon as you can. Make an account at Web Security Academy. You just have to give an email address, and they'll give you a long, horrible password that you cannot change. So that's why I always have to use a password manager. So once you're in here and you've logged in, you'll then have some learning progress options, and I made a website where you can load it in Burp just to show that you got Burp running. And so once you've got that, you can start solving challenges. And so I've got this all set. I've got my Burp going. I launched it earlier. And I'll go back to the Proxy History tab, and I'm going to clear the old history here. All right, and now I have the browser. The Burp browser is here, and I went to that website, portswigger.net, and I went to the Web Security Academy, which was here. Oh, I already logged in. Let me go forward. I am. Oh, okay, it kicked me out. All right. I got to get this junk out of my password manager again. I was hoping to avoid doing this, but you can't win them all. Okay, I can copy username, and let's see if that worked. I made a few accounts. That's right, good. So I can copy password out of my password manager. I have to put in my master password. All right, and it's ridiculous. It gives you a password that's like 20 random punctuation marks. It's very annoying when you make an account. And it appeared to time out and log me out. Okay, now I'm in. So here's my account details. I don't care about any of that. I want to get to the challenges, which are, I guess, here. There we are. Academy, that's what we want. I think I need to make my font smaller. There, now it'll show up. The Academy right there is where I'm used to seeing it. All right, so now that I'm in the Academy, I can see my learning progress. I've solved 2 challenges here, 1 here. There's different categories. Every one you solve is worth 10 points in my course, and you should solve 2 of them every week after you get started. Just turn in this page to show how many you've done, just so we can see it. And so all the labs are here. You can view them all, and they're not in any logical order, which is annoying. So don't just start at the beginning and go down. That's too difficult. SQL injection too hard. So I search the first. I recommend starting with directory traversal. It's the easiest thing. So, and on the website, let me point this out on my website if I can get to the right browser. Okay, so in here, you'll see in the schedule, all right, that here I say, down here you should have W600 due, and now every week plus 20 points of Web Security Academy projects. You can do any projects you want, but do 2 of them every week. And a lot of students do more, and that's why it's easy to get an A. You can just do a lot of these projects, and they're very interesting. And I do recommend a topic just to make it easy. I recommend doing file path traversal, and then command injection, and then authentication. You can do anything you want, but I recommend those because those are the easier ones to get started. So today I want to look at path traversal. And so they're not in a logical order here, so I just search for the word traversal with Command F, traverse. There, directory traversal is down here. And here's a series, and once you get into a topic, they're in order of increasing difficulty, and you can tell this is apprentice, this is practitioner, and down here there might be an expert. There aren't any experts in this one. So the great thing about this is it's a wonderful learning environment, far better than the projects I've written, because they really have a nice luxurious environment here. You'll see, you take the name, open it in a new tab. I like to do that so I can go back. Now, this is going to describe the lab, and it's going to give me access to the lab. I'm going to right-click and open that in a new tab, and what this is going to do is spin up a special machine for me to attack that's unique just to me, although looks like maybe I'm going to have a problem. I am in the wrong topic. Well, that's good. Let me go to the right topic. That's good, because maybe the right topic will work. Directory traversal is here, thank you. Let's see if that one works. That other one I tried did not work. If they aren't going to work, I can't do a demonstration. All right, now access the lab, open link in new tab. Now it has to spin up a container for me to attack. So it might take a while to load. So this looks okay. So while it's loading, good, it's loading. So here, this is the page for me to attack, and often this page is unique every time. So if you solve it and go back and solve it again, the answer won't be the same. So here's a page where you can buy things, sort of like that hackathon, and there's a vulnerability here. Now, if you were really an expert pen tester, you could find the vulnerability and exploit it with no further information, but we're learning. So if you're learning, I would look at the solution. They have a solution right here. So here's the goal. We want to find past traversal, and we want to dump the contents of the ets password file. Etsy. This is just a file that's always word readable and commonly used. All right. So they tell you here, use Burp Suite to intercept and modify a request that fetches a product image and put it in the file name, put in this stuff, .. ets password. So I'm going to save that in the clipboard. And let's go here. I want to find a product image. And so I could take the existing requests that I've already made and hunt for the image, but you can see there's a lot of requests here, so that's not much fun. So what's better is to clean this up. This is the proxy HTTP history tab. This is where I always start. Where you can see all the requests, and I always start by cleaning out the old stuff. So somewhere, clear history, there we go. I clear history. And now I do a request that's going to get what I need. Like they said, something that fetches an image. So I wonder if I just open this image in a new tab, if that request will do. There, I fetched an image. I wonder if that will do. Oh, now notice hiding CSS image and general binary content. This is a warning. It doesn't show you every request by default. And it hides the images, which is rude. So you have to click this and tell it to quit hiding the images. Now I apply that, now I can see the image request. And see, the image request had a file name in it. So that's the kind of place you would typically see a directory traversal vulnerability. So this is where I see a clue. The file name is right there in the URL. And if you go down here, I don't care about this inspector, here's the raw request. And you see it just has the file name right there. So if I want to try changing this, you cannot change anything in the history tab. That's a recording of the past. What you have to do is right-click it and send to repeater. Now the repeater lets you modify this, and I can get rid of that. All right, so now I can send it the way it is, and then I get a response. It's a 200 OK, and down here is the image, so that works, but I can change it. And what they said was try changing this to that other path, .. etc password. So maybe if they're not filtering this parameter, I can just give it a different path, and let's see what that does. I send it, and here's the response. This is what a Unix etc password file looks like. Here's the name of all the users, root, and so on. So it worked. It showed me this page, which is a system page I shouldn't be able to see, and that should constitute winning. So if I go back to this page here, it should tell me that I've won. And I think someplace it will record that I've solved it. So, all right. So this one is solved, and let's try another one. This one's going to be a little harder. This is where traversal sequences are blocked. All right, so now I'll go to this one. I'm going to clear off this other stuff. All right, so here's another one. I'm going to access the lab. And again, if I look at the challenge, it contains another file path traversal, and to solve it, get the ets password file. All right, now again, this is going to be in the images. If I look at the solution, it'll tell me again a request that fetches a product image. So I'm going to start the same way I did before. I'm going to clear the history to get rid of all the old stuff that's confusing, proxy history. This is all from the earlier challenge mostly. I'm just going to get rid of all this stuff with clear history. Now I'm going to fetch just an image by going here and right-click, open image in new tab. So there I loaded an image, and you can see right up here, file name equals 3.jpg, so it's the same as before. This suggests that you could do directory traversal. So I'm going to take this request and send it to the repeater. And first I'm going to try what we did before, which was put in .. here. And let's see what happens. When I send that, the response is bad request. It won't let me find it. So it's blocked that. But what they've done is they've blocked the .. They've blocked relative path names. And this, by the way, is extremely common, that you block .. for direct. Well, I don't know. All I know is it prevented me from, I don't know that for sure. All I know is it detected it as a bad request. But the way to prove that is to show that I can get there by just doing an absolute path. If I leave the slash in there without the dots, now it's going to refer to the Unix absolute path going ets password. And if I send that one, now I get the file. So it was blocking // but it was not enforcing permissions on the directories, which would have blocked me from getting to files. So it does have a directory traversal vulnerability, but it's not as simple as the previous one. So that's all for that one. And so now that one is now also solved. And so if I go to my, I now have, this should be solved. I think if I refresh this page, it'll show me it's solved. Yep, now that one's solved. All right, and that went pretty well. Let's take a look at another one. This one here is just showing you each one gets a little more difficult, which is good. And with the solution, none of them are too hard. So again, I'm trying to, okay, now it stops path traversal sequences before using it. So first I'm going to load the lab, and now I'm going to look at the solution. I think it's the same. Find the image and modify the file name. And this one here, the point is, it's trying to block // but it only does one pass to delete // So let me just explain this one in a text editor. So if I open a page here, all right. And we talked about this generally in the lecture, but it's all a whole lot clearer when you can see it. So I'm going to do that. Now what it's going to do is it's going to try and clean that up by deleting // So it's going to delete this, and then delete this, and then delete this. And I'd like to get it to, this stupid thing will not let me do it. All right, there. So by deleting // everywhere, it creates what I wanted because it doesn't make a second pass. If you do one pass to delete a pattern, you might not notice that you've just created that pattern again. So you put in // That's the trick. This is a way to defeat one level of protection where it's looking for the forbidden characters, but it isn't smart enough to do it recursively, to keep finding it until they're all gone. So I go here, and I'm going to, again, find an image loading page. So I'm going to clean off the old requests out of here, proxy, history, and delete the history, clear history. Now I want to load an image. So I go back here and right-click, open image. And there it is, okay. And now I put this in the repeater, and I change that to that longer path with .. / in it. That's password. And now when I send that, the response again contains that system file I wasn't supposed to see, and that counts as winning on this one. So if I refresh it, that one should now be solved too. Yeah, so that's how it goes. And with it's not that hard at all for the easy ones. The hard ones get pretty hard. So you can learn a lot here. You really get a lot of, and these are very, very good. So you should spend most of for the whole rest of the semester, you should just be working on these things pretty much. All kinds of good, there's a few other things I'll add, like API challenges from book, but this is where the meat of the class is, where you really practice all these attacks, and you can learn a lot. Yeah, all right. So I'm going to stop this recording, and that's all the